Consent is important, but it's not the only important thing. Today, I'll be answering the frequently asked question, isn't consent all that matters when it comes to sexual activity? Let's find out. I know that within the culture's general narrative around the ethics of sexuality, that the sexual act has to be consensual. The parties involved have to explicitly and continuously agree upon the sexual act that they originally agreed upon. And from there, the terms of agreement can be whatever they want it to be. It don't matter if it's between strangers. It don't even matter if the sexual act is related to rough play or violence. As long as the parties have agreed upon it, they can do whatever they want to. It's their prerogative. In other words, the only thing they have to consider is the individual's comfort level. As popular as this narrative is, I want to propose that we as a culture are settling for way too little. And that if we really want to have a healthy and good sex life, we gotta think of things beyond just what we feel comfortable with and start to see whether or not it's on par with our human dignity. Because let's be honest, we can be comfortable with a lot of things that is very much contrary to our human dignity. Toxic relationships are a really good example. Let's imagine, okay? Imagine you learn that your best friend is in a toxic relationship. Maybe they're with somebody who's manipulative, they degrade their interests, their desires, and they're the ones who's just constantly controlling the relationship. Now, your best friend could be very comfortable with that. They're chill with that. They're actually thinking that this is what I want. But as a best friend, I like to presume that you would not care whether or not your best friend feels comfortable with it, because you know that they deserve better and that the person they're dating should treat them better. If you fall under that logic, you then recognize that we have to go beyond simply what we feel comfortable with. One also has to evaluate whether or not the decision is on par with our human dignity. So in regard to the area of sexuality, what would it look like if the ethics around sexuality wasn't just based on consent alone, but also based on our human dignity? What is the value of our human dignity? Theologian and philosopher St. John Paul II, y'all know I love mentioning this beloved saint. He, in his book Love and Responsibility, makes it very clear that the only proper and adequate response to another person is love. So the only proper way you should treat a person, which is on par with their dignity, is love. And the opposite of love is use. Why? Because when you use someone, when you see them as a means to an end, you don't treat them as a person no more. You treat them as an object. And let's say it all together, we are not objects. So understanding all that, we would then base our sexual ethics after consent by asking this very simple question. Is this act out of love or out of use? Am I loving them or am I using them? Our first frequently asked question, why not sex before marriage, covers this question extensively. How do I know if the act that I'm doing is out of use or out of love? So if you want to check it out in the link in description below. But yeah, that's going to be our answer for today. Consent is important, but it's not enough. We have to start getting into the routine of seeing whether or not that act that we are okay with is on par with our dignity, especially knowing that we can say yes to a lot of things that are contrary to our human dignity. Because whether or not you believe it, you are worth authentic love. And no one should treat you otherwise, even if you might feel okay with it. So thank you so much for watching. I'd love to know your comments and your thoughts. Put on the comments below. And if you think there's somebody you think might benefit from this video, share it to them, because sharing is caring. My name is Kim. I'm one of the Chastity Missionaries of Regen. Love more and don't settle for less. God bless. Woo.